Hello Aries, welcome to my channel 12 Seasons of Astrology. This is your 2020 year ahead astrology prediction forecast horoscope, which covers the retrogrades, eclipses, and conjunctions. I'll start off with the eclipses first. On January 10th, there's a full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer, your 4th house, that will oppose Mercury in Capricorn, your 10th, and Saturn in Capricorn, your 10th house, and in Pluto in Capricorn, your 10th house. Within the next 6 months, something within your home gradually phases out. It could be a family member that moves out. You may decide to sell a home or your property. You may decide to move within the next 6 months, but something gets eclipsed out within the next 6 months dealing with your home, your family member, or the property. On June 5th, there's a full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, your 9th house, that will square Mars in Pisces, your 12th house. So within the next 6 months, something gradually gets eclipsed out. It could deal with your religion, your spirituality, your education, your political party, something that you've been publishing or broadcasting, or a legal matter, or a long distance trip that it gradually gets phases out or eclipsed out. On June 21st, there's a new moon solar eclipse in Cancer, your 4th house. By this time, whatever needed to get eclipsed out on January 10th from the full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer, it should have already been eclipsed out by this time, because on the new moon solar eclipse on June 21st, your 4th house in Cancer, you should already have bought a new home. You may have bought a second home. You may have purchased like a property, a new property lot, at least to get started to build a new home, or a family member may have moved into your home, or you just already moved into your new home. But this is a fresh start, new beginning with your new home, family member, or property. On July 4th, there's a full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn, your 10th house. Over the next 6 months, something regarding your career or a goal that you've been trying to achieve gets eclipsed out. You may decide to retire. You may decide to change your career, or you may decide to just gradually phase out the goal that you're trying to achieve with your career, or whatever goal that you're trying to achieve gradually gets eclipsed out. On November 30th, there's a full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini, your 9th house. Within the next 6 months, it looks like something regarding your 9th house gradually phases out. It could or eclipsed out, but dealing with your neighbors. Your neighbors may have will move within the next 6 months, or something within your neighborhood changes, like a developer comes in and decides to build condos, townhomes, build new, to expand your subdivision, to build more new homes, new construction homes, to build anything, or something within your neighborhood changes. You may decide to, within the next 6 months, purchase a vehicle, or perhaps you may have cousins or siblings that live in your neighborhood, and within the next 6 months, they may decide to move out. On December 14th, there's a new moon solar eclipse. This is a total solar eclipse in Sagittarius, your 9th house. Let's see. Well, over the next 6 months, it looks like something gradually blossoms over the next 6 months. There's a new start, a fresh start, a new beginning with your spirituality, your religion. You may decide to convert to a new religion. Your education, you may not decide to start a new class or a course. Politics, you may change your political party. You may start to publish a book. You may start to broadcast something to the world. You may start a new legal matter, or you may start on a long distance journey as well. Let's see. I'll start with the conjunctions. They're on January 12th. Pluto in Capricorn, your 10th house, will conjunct Saturn in Capricorn, your 10th house. This is increased activities regarding your career or the goal that you're trying to achieve. Eventually it gets transformed, it changes, it could get structured differently. There could be limitations, or you become more disciplined regarding your career, or somehow it gets transformed, and or whatever goal that you're trying to achieve gets transformed and it's structured. It may require discipline, and it may also involve limitations and restrictions. Let's see. On Jupiter Jupiter in Capricorn will conjunct Pluto in Capricorn 3 times during the year 2020 on April 4th, June 30th, and November 12th. So it looks like there's an abundance or your career abundance of success with your career. Your career could expand somehow, or whatever the goal that you're trying to achieve gets expanded. You could receive career recognition. You could somehow it transformed. Your achievement is transformational. It changes something for the better. Let's see. On March 31st, Saturn in Aquarius will conjunct Mars in Aquarius. This is your 11th house of friendships, your friends, networking groups, or social media. Looks like somehow it gets structured, probably with your social media or your networking groups. It requires discipline. You may have to limit your social media usage. You may have to become more disciplined when you use social media. But that's another conjunction during 2020. Let's see, and I'll just go ahead and start with the retrogrades. I'll start with Mercury. On the first one, Mercury will retrograde in all 3 water signs. The first one in Pisces on February 16th. This is your 12th house. Looks like this deals with your recovery, healing, hospitals, something that requires solitude, or even confinement, like jail or prison. This is something that you have to revise, redo, revisit, rework, reset, or restart. The second retrograde for Mercury will be in Cancer. Your 4th house will start on June 17th through July 11th. The first one in Pisces will retrograde from February 16th through March 9th. The second retrograde for Mercury will be in Cancer, your 4th house, from June 17th through July 11th. This is your 4th house of home, family, and property. You have something you may need to revise, redo, revisit, rework, restart, reset. And the third Mercury retrograde will be in Scorpio, your 8th house, from October 18th through November 3rd, which is the election day. Your 8th house, something you need to revise, redo, revisit, rework, reset, restart, regarding your inheritance, your shared finances, loans, child support, or alimony. The next retrograde, this is going to be in Mars and Aries. Will retrograde from September 9th through November 13th. And Mars will be in Aries for 6 months. It'll be there from June 27th through January 2021. Again, this is something you have to revise, redo, revisit, rework, revisit, restart, dealing with your first house. During the retrograde, you may decide to change your appearance or gradually change your physique, or something about your personality changes. But by the time the retrograde ends, you should resume. You may decide to go back to your old appearance, whatever. You may have changed your clothes or changed your hair or something. You may decide to change it after the retrograde. The next retrograde, Venus. Venus will be in Gemini. Will retrograde in Gemini from May 13th through June 24th. And Venus will be in Gemini for 4 months, from April 4th through August 7th. But the retrograde is from May 13th through June 24th. During this time, this is your 3rd house in Gemini. You may decide to, you have to revise, redo, revisit, rework, reset, something dealing with your short distance travel, your vehicle, your neighbors, or something about your neighbors, involving your neighbors or your neighborhood, your siblings, cousins, your thoughts, ideas, your writing projects, or your electronic devices. The next retrograde, Saturn in Aquarius. Well, Saturn will enter Aquarius on March 22nd, but it will retrograde from May 10th through September 29th. And this is your Saturn in, well, it starts off in Aquarius, and then it retrogrades back into Capricorn. So for your Aquarius is your 11th house, which it is, you have to once again revise, revisit, rework, reset, restart. That involves something that involves your friends, your networking, social media. Maybe you decide to hang out with a new group of friends, start networking with a new group of people, change your social media, change your different type of social media app or something, and something you may need to restructure that requires discipline, limitations, and restrictions. The next retrograde will be Jupiter. Jupiter will enter Capricorn on December 2nd, 2019. It'll stay there until December 19th, 2020, but it will retrograde from May 14th, 2020 through September 2020. Okay, it's something you have to revise, revisit, redo, rework, reset, or restart dealing with your career or a goal that you're trying to achieve. Then I'll start with the squares. There's three. Mars will square Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. On August 4th and October 19th, Mars will square Jupiter. Your first house it will square Jupiter in Capricorn, your 10th house. There's like an abundance of growing problems with your career or the goal that you're trying to achieve. It seems like your problems keep expanding. So you'll have something you have to resolve either on August 4th or October 19th. On August 24th and September 29th, Mars in Aries, your first house, will square Saturn in Capricorn, your 10th house. This is once again, you have to deal with some sort of limitations, structures, restrictions, discipline regarding your career or the goal that you're trying to achieve. And Saturn is trying to discipline you and teach you a lesson to structure your the goal or the career. On August 13th, October 9th, and December 23rd, Mars in your first house in Aries will square Pluto in Capricorn, your 10th house. Looks like there's conflicts, challenges, arguments, confrontations, power struggles that will eventually transform and change within those 3 dates: August 13th, October 9th, and December 23rd. So it looks like there's something that needs to deal with those power struggles, that you could deal with your career or the goal that you're trying to achieve. Okay, well, Aries, that's all I have for 2020. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and also please remember to check out my other videos I have posted. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.